Hey guys, it's Di, and I am doing the highly requested pumpkin cheesecake recipe, which I've mentioned in a couple of my videos and people have asked me to share. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. So this is based on a pumpkin cheesecake pie recipe that I picked up at the grocery store, which was called by a different name at the time, but this is a Schnucks recipe, so I hold no claim to coming up with this on my own. I just kind of put my own spin on it and roughly work off of this. So if you're interested, this is what the actual recipe looks like. So my oven is already preheating to 350 degrees, and I am opting to use a ready-made graham cracker crust today. You can go ahead and make this. This does actually have the directions for what you need to do that. You would just need to make a mixture of the graham cracker crust with sugar and butter, and then cook that in the oven before you'd actually start the pie. I believe it says it takes 7 to 9 minutes. I am opting to use the ready-made crust today, and that is just what works for me. I'm going to start by mixing my ingredients here in the bowl. So I'm going to start with my cream cheese, which I've had on the counter for a few minutes to get it softened up just a bit. I'm going to be adding 3/4 of a cup of sugar to that and then mix those together. And then I'm going to add some eggs. I just have a couple of large eggs sitting over here, and then we'll start adding in the pumpkin and the spices. So I just put 3/4 of a cup of the sugar with the cream cheese. I'm going to beat that all together until it's smooth. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes. From there, I'm just going to add 2 eggs and then beat those in with the cream cheese and the sugar. And then when you blend the eggs in, it kind of makes it a really nice creamy consistency, and if you had anything stuck to your beaters before that, it should just come right off when you put the eggs in. So now I'm going to start adding the rest of the ingredients. I'm just going to spoon this Libby's 100% pure pumpkin down inside of there. This is a 15-ounce can, and if you're making a double batch, I've made a double batch of this at one time. They do make 30-ounce cans of these, which is pretty nice as well. So I'm just going to spoon this out, and this will be the first ingredient that I add to the mixture. Then I'm going to add the spices. Now for the vanilla, I do actually measure that out, but I'll be completely honest. This says 1/4 teaspoon of the ginger. I use that very sparingly because ginger is very strong if you've ever used it before. It says 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and I do like to use a generous amount of that. And then 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and also, again, I use a generous amount of that. Sometimes when I am making this, I don't measure out those. I just kind of eyeball it and put in approximate amounts. But if you're wanting to know the exact amounts, it's 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1 teaspoon pure vanilla, which I do try to measure out, 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and then 1/4 of the ginger, which really, honestly, my recommendation would be to use sparingly because I find that that spice is the most potent out of all of them, or whatever you want to say. So I put my pumpkin into the mix. I'm going to start adding my spices in, and then I will start blending that all together. All of my spices have been added in, so I'm just going to mix those together. Then you just pour the mixture into your either ready-made tin or crust that you made, and then pop it in the oven. It's as easy as that. And your ready-made mixture is a really nice orange color, and I'm just going to pour that in there. And then get it to settle, and then it'll go in the oven. Okay, and 45 minutes in the oven, and you are left with an absolutely delicious pumpkin cheesecake pie. This is a favorite of the guys at my husband's work, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this recipe video. We absolutely love this as a Thanksgiving dish for dessert, and also just a festive thing to have in the fall. Then the last step is you cover it and let it sit in your fridge for anywhere from 6 hours to 2 days. And I have had this in the fridge overnight. It's actually the next day. And I am going to be serving this at a party tomorrow. So I'm going to be using the 2-day thing. And I'm doing the rest of my baking, the cupcakes and all that today. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this pumpkin cheesecake recipe. And thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.